So a little while back I challenged myself to try and paint a full squad of Space Wolf Bloodclaws in about 8 hours, and it was an absolute disaster. It was so rushed, there was so much pressure, I didn't even have a defined Space Wolf recipe at the time, so I was just trying out everything like bright white highlights and all sorts of colours. It was terrible and resulted in some of the worst looking minis I have ever painted. So I thought today, why not fix these up? Let's strip them clean, repaint them with this defined Space Wolf recipe that we've got now, all these new paints and these new brushes, so that when I see them on my shelf, I don't feel disgusted and full of dread anymore. I can actually look at them and be like, yeah, they're good. And here we are, some of the worst models I've ever painted. Yeah, look at the state of that highlighting. Like I mentioned, I didn't have like a Space Wolf recipe, like set in stone at this point, so I was just trying all sorts of stuff. And I was trying out like white highlights on rust grey armour, and it just looks terrible. Like, it's so thick and chunky on that belt buckle. The belt itself isn't even highlighted. This guy hasn't even got any highlights, and I think I messed up the primer on this dude. Like, if you touch it, it's really sandpapery and gritty, so maybe there was like moisture in the air or too much primer, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, look at the state of them. They are all over the place. So they're definitely in need of some TLC, which is what we're going to do today. So I mean, the first step in order to fix these boys is to strip all the paint off of them. And if you've not stripped paint off the models before, it sounds quite scary, but it's actually really easy. So all you need is a bottle of isopropanol alcohol. I got this big like litre bottle off Amazon for I think like a tenner, maybe like even like £8 or £9. And it's great for just stripping all the paint clean, and it doesn't even damage the models or anything. So what you want to do is, I've already poured some of it in this little glass here, just enough to submerge the model in. And quite literally, all you do is just take the model you want to strip clean, say this dude for example, and then just plop, just drop them in. Simple as that. And then we leave this guy to sort of soak in this isopropanol alcohol for, let's say, like half an hour, 45 minutes. And then what we can do is we can come back and we can take this old manky toothbrush and then strip him clean. Right, so it's been about half an hour, maybe 40 minutes, I'm not really sure, but it's been long enough. So we left it soak for a while, and I don't know if you can see, no, you can't really see from there, but if I grab the toothbrush, I mean, even if we start poking around now, the paint should start falling off even just in the water. Oh yeah, you can see on this knee that the paint is already starting to fall off, and if we just yeah, look at that, even just like a light scrubbing, it's already starting to fall off. And yeah, so we can see it's all sort of like starting to peel apart. And at this point, just grab like an old toothbrush or something, and then you can just start, look at that, it just falls off. Start wiping away. And there he is, back to his plastic grey glory. But yeah, it's like it hasn't even been painted. Brand spanking new. All it takes is, yeah, it's a little bit of isopropanol and a toothbrush. Nice and simple and easy. So, the main reason the last time was such a car crash and so horrible was because I didn't have a predefined like Space Wolf recipe that I liked or felt comfortable with. But now we do. So we can put that into action and really make these guys look good. And the most, honestly, probably even more important than the actual paints and the application is the priming situation for our recipe. So what I've done, just so I can show you each stage of it visually, is I actually stripped these two earlier. I did the exact same thing with the isopropanol. So yeah, I just dunked them in, brushed off all the paint, and then I did each stage of the priming process so I can show you because it's quite important. So the recipe we've got is basically we take a really heavily watered down Space Wolf grey contrast, and then similarly a really watered down Tyran blue, and we apply a really thin layer on top of a zenithal highlight. So what that looks like is the first thing we do is we apply a full black primer to the model, just all black all over everywhere, nice and smooth. And then once we've done that black, we also apply a zenithal of white, which is basically like a white spray can, but just on the top part, so kind of like a cone around the top to emulate light coming down. And that way it creates this cool effect of, like, if you look up here, it's like the top sections are like nice and bright and white, like the top of the backpack, the head, half. This side is a lot brighter because I kind of tried to apply it from this side as if the light source was like coming down like this. So you notice on the top half, so you've got this nice bright white, and some of the bottom section where the white didn't hit it as much is a bit darker, and then we sort of flip them upside down, yeah. All those like dark recesses and shadows created by the zenithal effect we've got essentially. And what this allows us to do is create a nice like volumetric kind of highlights and lighting effect without the use of an airbrush, because I don't have one. So I feel like I've been waffling on and trying to explain it, but it'd be easier to just show it. So what we'll do is I'll grab a palette and I can start watering down this Space Wolf grey, and I'll show you what it looks like when we apply these paints. And there's the end product. I'm going to be honest with you, it's been a long time since I painted a Space Wolf. I actually can't remember off the top of my head what the last one was. So yeah, I'm a little bit rusty, so this isn't actually the perfect application. There's some spots like sort of in the inner bits of his thigh, just like in there, and then maybe a little bit on top of the knees. Oh, that foot's not too great either. Oh god. Okay, maybe there's a bit more mistakes than I thought. Yeah, you can kind of see there's a little bit blotchy in some places, but that's just, I think, a bit out of practice. But that is my process for the base armour. Then obviously, yeah, the more you do it, the better you get at it. And I think it does also look a lot better once you put in the other colours. Like, we're not stopping the video here. We are actually going to fill in the rest of this guy. I just like to start with the base armour so you can show it off. So let's make a start on some of these details. I guess I like to start with the torso, really. Rather than doing like all of the base colours and all the metallics and the shades and the highlights, I like to do sections. So I'll start with the torso. Let's slap on some brown for this belt, some gold on the chest insignia, the Aquila, some red on the gems, and then fill in some of these ribbons. I will say one thing I've grown to appreciate in the past few months of like learning to paint and stuff is stuff like this, like the really small things you would think are inconsequential that don't really like, you couldn't notice with your eye, like highlighting the Aquila. Like when I started I was like, who really needs to do that? Like who's going to notice highlights in such a small detail? But I've grown to appreciate that these sort of like small little extras do sort of compound and they kind of make this like, well, it's a better looking mini overall. But they are a lot more important than you might think. Cool, and there's some of the little chest details done. Just did the Aquila and the belt, a nice little simple stuff, and also the eyes while I was at it. That one's nice and clean. A little bit of a spillage on the other one, but overall, I feel like we're improving on eyes. Pretty happy with it. Also did some of the ribbons, just put some black Templar contrast in. Nothing fancy. I've seen people highlight them and all sorts, and for the most part, I just like to fill them in just so they're blocked in and coloured. I feel like contrast over a white undercoat does it enough. You can kind of see just there on the back one, there's like, you know, the ribbons raised up. That undercut's coming through a little bit, so it kind of acts like highlights. Although I can never tell, I guess like you can see there, yeah, I can't really tell sometimes where the ribbons end and where the armour begins. It's just a blob of black. But I think it looks fine. So I think what we'll do now is just move on outwards and then start on these shoulder pads. So I think I want to stick with what I did originally. So I've got, these are obviously the terrible mistakes. I think I want to stick with this yellow with the stripes and then the red with this sort of howling wolf kind of insignia. I think it looks really cool. Can't remember what it's called. We'll have the codex somewhere. I'll have a little look. But I did on my, I guess these are the blood claws and these are the grey hunters. I did just the normal ones, the yellow and the red with the standard like insignia. Again, I can't remember the specific names, but I think this one looks cooler, so I'm gonna stick with this one actually, I think. So yeah, let's just paint the shoulders. What's this? Averland, sunset, and then some kind of red. Sweet, so there's the shoulders, and yeah, well, I've improved on quite a bit of things since my last time. The one thing I've not improved on is these like freehand shoulder patterns. Oh, I'm terrible at them. In fact, I might even argue that this old one, might even be a bit better, but I think that's because at this point, yeah, this was number 8, so I'd painted like 6 or 7 of them, so I got some like practice in. But yeah, I also really struggle with these like sort of freehand shapes. I think maybe if I just draw like straight lines first or something, I don't know. Doesn't look great, but it's whatever, it's not that deep. Yeah, the other side's looking cool. I really like the, oh, there it is. I really like the transfer. I love, do you know what? One thing I really do like about the Space Wolves just in general is how many like trinkets they've got all on like their shoulders, their wrists. Some of them have them on the legs, but not this dude. But yeah, they've got loads of little random bits. Like I love the teeth. I love painting them like that Zandri dust, Earthshade kind of mix to make them all look like real teeth. Looking good. Really coming together now. So let's just carry on working on this upper half, and there's not much left to be fair actually. Just the backpack and the weapons. Kind of flown by. Yeah, let's carry on with the weapons. So maybe let's start off with just the sword, just because it's all up there and it looks kind of cool and be awesome to paint. So just finishing up the weapon, just get ready to highlight. You know, we don't have no oils, no base colours. Looking at my reference picture, and I realised they've got this like red little like freehand daggers, spike triangles on them. And yeah, looking at how terrible this turned out, this is going to be rough. But always trying to get better and improve, so I guess it gives us a chance to practice in it. Plus, also, I was kind of looking at it, and I was like, after this like weapon, it's done. There's not really much to these boys. Just need to highlight the weapons, do this, and slap on a base. So yeah, you know what? Seeing as we're pretty much there, we'll do these red spikes, highlight, and then see how we're looking. Oh, and here we go. The new and improved Space Wolves. There, look at that. Oh my god, that is so much better. Wow. Yeah, when I was painting this new dude back up, I was like, kind of looking at him and I was like, maybe he's not that good. Maybe this base coat armor recipe I've got isn't actually that great. I don't know, maybe it's not that much of an improvement, but no, looking at them side by side, wow. It's like night and day. Oh my god, yeah. It is horrendous like that old one. It looks like a brand new model. I'm super, super happy with this, yeah. And to be fair, it wasn't like anything revolutionary or groundbreaking, you know, it's just like, just a fresh, defined like base coat recipe that we like nice armor with those sort of volumetric highlights looking good. And then, yeah, just some bit tidier details, you know, like, do you know what, actually, I say that, look at those Aquilas, yeah, that's just Retributor on the left. Then we've got like the Retributor, the Reikland Fleshshade, the highlights. Oh, that looks really nice, actually. I wonder if I can really zoom in. There you go, look at that. I don't know how much, this is like the mega zoom, so I don't know how much detail retains, but that does it really nice. There's a tiny little smudge on his collar just on the, just there. Actually, I should get a paintbrush. Yeah, there's a tiny smudge on his collar just there, but that's whatever in it. But yeah, it's night and day. It's so much nicer. And you can kind of see here actually what I meant about the undercoat primer application. It's a bit like gritty and like sandpapery. I don't know what I did there, but that's looking so much nicer. Yeah, but no, it's not like, not revolutionary. It's not like a whole groundbreaking change. It's just quick, just a bit tidier, bit of a nicer application and all sorts. Really, really happy with this. Yeah, I do feel like this guy's cheating a little bit because he's got a base. Like we Can we... There we go, maybe cut off the base, because I feel like the base really brings it in, but even so, like, that's just like so much nicer, isn't it? Like, yeah, super happy with this. And then we spin around the back. Oh, wow, yeah. Just looks a lot, it looks, yeah, just a lot tidier. I will say the freehand actually on the old dude is a lot better. I actually think, yeah, like those sort of spikes in the shoulders, and although he's not got anything on the sword, the old dude, the new one, that freehand's not too great on the sword. But that's something I need to work on in general, and it'd be good to like focus on that and have a look. That'd be good. But wow, yeah, I didn't realize how bad they were to like put them next to each other. So definite big success. I'm really happy with this. Yeah, especially like if we pull back like some more. Cause I've got loads. I've got a few of these dudes that look terrible. Like, but yeah, just look at that. Like, oh my god, yeah. I will say this isn't the only dude I've done. I mentioned I wanted to fix up a lot of them, and I have actually started on a few of them just over here. I've got these two boys that I've started on. I've just had to sort of like put them to one side just for now because I've got some other stuff going on in life, so I haven't really got the time to do all three. But yeah, even these two that I've kind of like half started, they're just looking so much better. Like that base armor is just, yeah, it makes all the difference. Like I will say, it's not perfect. I've mentioned it a few times in the video, but it is quite a hard thing to get right. Like get like a smooth, like trying to get like a nice smooth application of contrast and shade paints on like a nice undercoat is kind of not the easiest thing to get right. But even with some of these like mistakes and blotches and whatnot, and like see this guy's arm just here. I wonder if we can tilt it right, maybe? Yeah, see, that's not the smoothest. It's quite, it's a little bit blotchy and whatnot, and the same on like some of the backpack. So, but what I'm trying to get at is even though with those little mistakes and those like blotchiness, it's still like night and day compared to this old recipe, this old attempt of just the horrible rust grey and white highlights. But yeah, this was a 10 out of 10. So happy with the outcome of this, and yeah, really glad we did this. I'm keen to finish off the rest of these boys. I think I've got like 3 or 4 more that I need to strip and redo, but seeing how good it's turned out has motivated me to do it. Yeah, I'm really happy. And there we go, some of our worst models fixed, and yeah, I feel a lot better now. Even just like glancing at the shelf and seeing them, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't have just these horrible car crash models anymore. And it was a big success. It didn't really take that much to like fix them, you know? I was like, I think I put them off for so long because I'm like, oh, it's such an effort to like strip them all, repaint whole models, but like, the good thing about those blood claws is they are like quite simple models. It's just like a base coat and a couple of details, and I feel so much better for doing them. And I do think that stripping models with isopropyl and starting again is such like a good thing to do, and it's such a like, what's what I'm thinking of, like a hack. I don't know if hack is the right word, but like it's just such a good little cheat code to like get more use out of your models. Like I often, when I start a new army or a new faction, I normally have like one model in the squad that I keep stripping over and over again, and just to try new things on. So I definitely think it's something that you can take advantage of and get a lot of value out of. It is really good. And yeah, I'm surprised about how much better they look for such little work. Like it wasn't that much like commitment to repaint the whole model. And yeah, like I mentioned, just looking at them over there, I'm like, oh, that's better, man. They look so much nicer than just these horrible disfigured like models. I think I tend to put off repainting older models sometimes though, just because I feel like I've got a lot of like sentimental attachment to them. Like I've got around here somewhere. Yeah, I've got these like Terminators. Like some of these are like the first ever like models I properly painted, and I'm always like, oh, I kind of want to repaint them as Black Templars for like my Black Templar army because it'd be cool to have a squad of Terminators. And I think like Black Templar Terminators would look unbelievable. But every time I look at them, I'm like, oh, I've got that sentimental value of like these are some of the first models, and I feel like every model I look at, I come up with some sentimental attachment to it where I'm like, oh, I don't want to strip them. So, but it is something I think I need to use more often because, like I said, you can leverage it so well to repaint models, give old models new life, switch them up for armies and stuff. So yeah, maybe it's something I need to leverage more. But I'm super happy with them. Really glad we did this, and I'd be keen to keep doing it as well. Like keep getting some more practice of Space Wolves under my belt and get more use out of those models. Because yeah, I do like them, they're cool. But as always, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the content, drop a like and subscribe, and tune in next time. Bye!